Part-time UFC fighter Yair Rodriguez has been missing, MIA. We have not seen him in the octagon in close to a year. And I wanted to make a little bit of a topic piece on it today because this dude was at the top of the featherweight division for a minute there. He had a close, not close at all, but he had a good fight with Volk. Obviously, he got finished, but he was winning on the feet a little bit. The dude was kind of a mainstay in the division, and he was, a bit of a diva here and there, but now the dude's completely gone. And we're wondering, where is he? Because the division's starting to move on. We had the Evloev-Murphy fight play out. We're looking for Aljamain to get an opponent. Diego's already had 2 shots, and Gene Silva's right there. Clearly, this guy needs to be in the mix, needs to be either winning over these guys to get himself a shot or losing to these guys for these guys to get a shot. And we haven't seen him in the octagon since, I want to say, UFC 314, which was in August of 2025, I believe, in which he beat the debuting Patricio Pitbull by decision. It was a close fight. It was nothing to write home about. And this was after he had just lost, I think, to Brian Ortega. He had just lost in the rematch in which he got submitted, which that's a bad look, getting subbed by 2025-2024 Ortega. And after he won this matchup, he went on stage and actually was talking about the beef with Diego Lopez and how he doesn't want it. Because we all thought, that huge moment with Diego Lopez where, Colon! And they just started going at you. You heard the translator, oh. And they start going. They're talking about fighting each other in the gym. Apparently, one of Yair's teammates disrespected one of Diego's female teammates. So Diego and his guys jumped Yair's teammate, and now it's beef between the gyms. This is very old, I guess, in terms of what I'm talking about now. But this is kind of the build-up. And we thought this was a great bad blood matchup. This would have been a great matchup at 145, especially after Volkanovski-Lopez, in which Lopez lost. That should have been the fight to make right after this, because Yair was coming off a win over Patricio Pitbull. But no, he said the beef with Diego Lopez can stay aside for now. The only thing I'm looking for is fighting for that belt. And as you can see him sitting up here smug like he's Scarface, like he didn't just take Patricio Pitbull to a decision. That's not a reality, but in August of 2025, we were worried that they were going to give Yair another shot against Alexander Volkanovski. If you don't remember, Yair did get a shot against Volkanovski. It was coming off of the Josh Emmett and Brian Ortega wins. The Ortega one wasn't really a win. His shoulder popped out, but the Josh Emmett one was the one that he won the interim title for. He got a triangle choke over Emmett before that, had a few good wins, lost to Holloway. And he was putting up a good fight against Volkanovski on the feet. He's fast, dynamic, was tagging him with shots. And then Volk, I think, headbutted him at one point. I can't quite remember, but he ended up hurting him, taking him to the ground. And Volk's ground and pound is next to none. Yair's a bit frail on the ground. And he got TKO'd, right? So tough loss, but it's to the champ, one of the greatest champs there is and probably will be. So no shame in that. But then you move on and you go, oh, 2024 Ortega. Was this the... I'm glad you asked. The Beagle Ortega, where the eagle goes to a mountain and breaks its beak off. That's this Ortega. Embarrassing. Diego Lopez slumped him and brought him back to life with a 2-piece combo. So he was, lost to the champ, then lost to a guy who's kind of out of his prime, and then got a close decision win over a debuting guy who, granted, was a former champion in a different organization, but got a close decision win. It was calling immediately for a title shot and was willing to sit on his ass and not take the Lopez fight. So that's step one. Strike one is he's already denied a Lopez fight and demanded a title shot after being 1-2 in his last 3 and already losing his first title shot, like in bad fashion. Like if he made it to the decision and put Volk in some trouble, that would have been worth it, but he didn't. And this whole build-up had us hyped for the Diego Lopez-Yair Rodriguez matchup. And I don't understand why he's sitting out so long, even before some news came out. I mean, we saw they were going to do him versus Gene Silva. Kevin Vallejos was also wanting to fight Yair Rodriguez. This was this month, but Yair Rodriguez apparently is injured as of recently. We had a much shorter time frame back in October of last year. It came out that he had a hand surgery, right? So this was about 2 months removed from the Pitbull fight, and it said he's expected to need 2 to 4 months to recover before getting back to training. So if we're going off of October, we'll take the longer route. January, February, he should have been ready to get back into training, which means he should have been already in camp for a fight, right? And unless he damaged it or they just didn't do good, based on this interview, I mean, Yair Rodriguez next, but needs about 6 months to recover from some small injuries. 6 months from this month. So he's been out since October, and now he's saying he needs another 6 months. So we're about to go from October of 2025. So wait, what's that? October, November, December, January, February, March, April, where we at? May, June, essentially over a year, pretty much. When you add up how long he's been out and how long this says that he's going to be out, the dude is going to be out for over a year, it seems like, and he's been out for more than half a year, or just about at this point. And clearly the hand surgery got him a pass back in October, but it's March, dude. Hands don't take that long to heal. Just don't do some dumb shit. Don't be a Makhachev and say your hands hurt and then do some bag work. Um, Yair Rodriguez is clearly ducking some of the
Six
biggest
months is
matchups in the
going to
division.
be
Sorry, I didn't
like
mean
a
to play
good.
that. It seems like Yair is blatantly ducking some of the biggest matchups in the division. I don't know why. He's doing what Ortega was doing while Ortega was injured. He's essentially rank squatting. He's Covington maxing. He was a guy that was at the top of the division at one point, obviously, was an interim champion. They did that whole gimmick because they wanted the Mexican champs. They even gave him a colorful belt, even though Alexander Volkanovski doesn't get a colorful belt. He lost that, right? Didn't look great, then lost to the corpse of Brian Ortega. That's just not a good loss. Ortega is not someone you lose to in round 3 via arm triangle choke. Yair is very frail in the grappling, and he wouldn't look good in a rematch against Volk. Thus, they didn't give it to him. And the dude's just been sat on his ass. He doesn't want... I mean, granted, I don't know if he wins any of these matchups, so I don't blame him for not wanting to take them, but you have to take a matchup, right? I think Lerone beats him. I think Sterling beats him. I literally did in my Sterling video, if you watched it, saying that the Yair Rodriguez matchup is right there. And it's winnable. And if you win that, you could argue for a title shot for some stupid reason, but they might give it to you. But if you can beat Yair using grappling, which is his weakness, dude, you're right there. Take that fight. But for Yair, that's a tough fight. Murphy's a tough fight. Gene Silva's a tough fight. And he's clearly ducking Lopez. The guy has been LARPing as an MMA fighter for essentially over half a year. He had a very close decision, acted like an entitled brat, and now he's just sat on the sidelines, whether he's healing or not. When he comes back, he is not going to have the title shot situation or timeline or roadmap that he thought he did maybe when he got the win over Pitbull, because no way truly in the back of his mind does he go, a win over that era of Pitbull should get me a title shot based on my current situation. He's clearly just bluffing. He's trying to push his luck, right? So realistically, right now he has to go, what am I going to do? Who am I going to fight? And he sat out for so long that the division's changed, man. The old guard's starting to go. These new bucks, or these new kids like Vallejos and stuff, like they're young bucks, they're spring chickens. They're gonna put it on him when they get their hands on him. Vallejos has nasty boxing. He could chin Yair. Silva could chin Yair. Larone's got good. He's well rounded. Like he could chin or out grapple Yair. Like Yair doesn't put a lot of people in danger in the top 5 anymore, in my opinion, unless he's done revolutionary work to his game and his grappling and his physique and comes back healed and just a new version of himself. I don't see that happening. But until then, dude, he's Covington maxing. He's rank squatting. He's pretending. He's role playing as a UFC fighter at this point. And he had entertaining striking. Granted, his personality wasn't the best, but he has entertaining striking. I like to see him fight. There were even rumors about him versus Zabit. That would have been a fun matchup. 2 long, lanky guys that have dynamic striking. But no, he's going to get a split decision win over Pitbull, and injury or not, he seems to sit out and want to get the perfect matchup, the perfect shot, when he doesn't deserve it, man. Being an interim champion doesn't promise you absolutely anything outside of just your shot. It doesn't promise you championship treatment, it doesn't promise you championship opportunities, and it doesn't promise you championship forgiveness, like Volk got getting an immediate rematch for his belt. Yair does not get that, even after a lackluster win over a middle-of-the-road guy. Let me know what you think about this. I mean, who does Yair come back and fight? Because I really don't know. Like, personally, I think Sterling should be full steam ahead for that fight. That's the easiest matchup for him to get into the title shot picture again. Gene Silva would slime him, and I think Diego Lopez would too. So I truly think that just for pure chance that Yair should be looking for a Lerone matchup or a Sterling matchup. Those are his best chances of not getting finished. But I think against a guy like Silva or Lopez, he's getting chinned or brutally put away or just dominated over 5 rounds. And I don't even think he's that durable. If Volk could put him away in around 3 with ground and pound, I don't want to know what Gene Silva or Diego Lopez is doing to you. But like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you know this. Let me know what you think about the situation. I've been wanting to make this video for a minute. The dude's been out for so long, but I finally got a comment on one of my videos. Shout out that guy's like giving me a video idea to cover this, and I think it's something that needs to be covered because we need to start calling out fighters more often for not being transparent. Yair has not been vocal about his hand surgery and his recovery and his time frame and who he wants next and what he's thinking about. The dude's just vanished essentially. And it sucks as a UFC fan because the guy was a fun dynamic striker at one point. But that's all I got for you. See ya.